Welcome to Human OS Mind Your Health Rewired, the show that unpacks the hidden systems driving your symptoms and empowers you to heal from the inside out. I'm your host, Dr. Connie Cheung, and after decades of inside the healthcare system and outside of it as a patient, I've learned this, that health isn't something you chase, it's something you remember. And if you're ready to rewire your body, reclaim your power, and rise above the outdated health norms, you're in the right place. Let's get right to it.
Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Connie, and this is your podcast, Mind Your Health Rewired. Today, I want to talk to you guys about a very serious and pervasive topic. It's across all generations here in our world today. And it is the commitment crisis, why we fail before we even begin. There's an epidemic of quitting, shiny object syndrome, and how true success starts with knowing yourself. So we live in a world where it's easier to look the part than live the truth. It's easier to commit to the image than to the process. Easier to chase the shiny object than to root into real purpose. So in this episode, I'm sharing a real story from the inside of FYMCP program, a story that taught me everything about why so many people fail before they even begin. And I'll break down what's really required to rise, which is fierce commitment. And that means no matter what, and how bleak things seem, you do not subject yourself to the circumstances. You live at the mercy of your own choices and your own personal responsibility. And there has to be radical self-honesty and a soul that is no longer available for just surface level alignment, because that is not sustainable. So a teacher who had everything but stayed afraid. She was one of my best students, one of my best teachers, brilliant, kind, driven, certified in functional yoga medicine. She had built her schedule, was teaching powerful classes, getting amazing feedback. I was so proud. From the outside, she was thriving. But there was so many changes. And as a mentor, I saw a lot of chaos. And I knew on the inside, she was still in survival mode. And I just needed that to play its role. Working multiple jobs, overscheduling, overgiving. She was always on, but never fully connected to her core center. She would start something just to quit. And this cycle repeated over and over again. And I can feel it as the boss. Her nervous system wasn't anchored. Her identity was still seeking safety, and she hadn't fully claimed her seat as a leader. Then one day, without warning, without any signs, she just simply quit. No conversation, no closure, just gone. To me, that felt very irresponsible, but I was really sad to see somebody who had such a gift never to realize that potential. And it left my business in a limbo. But more than that, it left a deeper lesson for me as the leader. And here's the real reason people quit all day, every day. They quit before they can fail. And here's what I come to realize. Most people don't quit because it's hard. They quit because they're afraid of their own greatness, afraid of being seen, afraid of getting it wrong, afraid of getting it right and not knowing who they'll become. They just get afraid of the unknown. So they bow out early. They ghost their gifts. They sabotage their success before it has a chance to even solidify. Why is that? Well, that's because they never pause to ask the one question that matters. Is this what I want, or what I've been conditioned to want? Did I only want the effect and it's not coming soon enough? Or am I in this for the long haul? And I realized if they're not committed, they only want to show that they are committed. And it's a show. There is no deep commitment underlying all the insecurities on the superficial layer. So I call this the commitment crisis. We're living in an era where most people are addicted to the next course, the next hack, the next aesthetic, the next strategy, the next guru. And this person I'm talking about, she was always like looking for the next course, something else to learn before solidifying the one that she was on. And they are all starving for the truth, but yet they're not even sure what they're looking for. And here's the truth. You cannot build a sustainable, aligned life if you're not intimately acquainted with who you are and what you stand for. They don't even have that. We quit because we don't know what we're truly saying yes to. We compare, we consume, we replicate somebody else's dream and wonder why we feel so anxious or out of place when it starts to work. We say we want success, but we're terrified of the sacrifice. We say we want freedom, but we won't commit to the process that creates it. We're not committed to the hard work. We just want the results. And I've got a surprise for you. That just never happens. So I think the biggest lesson here is to know thyself. It's the missing practice. And I can tell you, as the owner of a yoga studio with many women coming through to teach for me, to work for me, the number one sabotaging trait that these women have is lack of self-confidence and self-worth. When they don't have it, their insecurity breeds a lot of contentment. It breeds a lot of aggression and a lot of manipulation, all under the facade of niceness, people-pleasing tendencies. And I've seen this over and over again. And so I now know how to screen people and kind of assess long haul. And no matter what, I can see who's going to make it and who just won't. And so far I haven't been wrong, honestly. And I think the biggest gift for anybody, me as a mentor to so many yoga teachers, is to know thyself. And it's the one missing practice. Knowing yourself isn't just a philosophical idea. It's a requirement. And not the who are you from a resume or Enneagram or your favorite color or even your Myers-Briggs. I'm talking about what's your nervous system baseline? What triggers you? What are your subconscious fears? How was it programmed? What ancestral patterns are you repeating? And what emotional wound still defines your decisions without knowing? What's your true vision? Not the borrowed one you saw online or somebody told you to be. Because until you know that, you'll keep jumping from one thing to the next, not knowing what to do. You'll keep quitting before clarity sets in. And you'll keep doubting your path every time discomfort arises. And in the name of doing the work, you'll waste time, health, and purpose on what was never yours to begin with. So the cost of not knowing is greater than you think. So let's be honest about the cost. Wasted years in the wrong job or training. Burnout from chasing someone else's version of success. Chronic health symptoms that mirror your inner conflicts. Lost clients, disappointed clients, lost trust, lost momentum. Constantly starting over from scratch. And worst of all, you're just chasing the possibility of it without really leaning into the possibility. You never rise into your full expression because your vision was never anchored in you to begin with. And you didn't even know that. So I want to say this is why Functional Yoga Medicine Certification Program calls you into the truth. Inside the Functional Yoga Medicine Certification Training, I don't just teach the tools. I teach the integration. I teach how to make you whole, and you go through the process of becoming whole so that you can share that experience with your clients. And every module forces you to ask, what am I actually committed to? Not the one that I say I am, not the one everybody else wants me to be, not the one that feels and looks good, but what am I actually committed to? And is this pattern mine, or is this something inherited? And am I building a business or an identity? Am I truly aligned or just surviving, or am I pretending? Because you don't guide others until you've decoded yourself. You can't hold space if your nervous system is stuck in freeze or fawn. You can't lead until you stop outsourcing your power. Listen, in my yoga world, we think and we really put ourselves out there as spiritual seekers. And within the yoga teacher community alone, there's a lot of bad mouthing and a lot of misrepresenting, misunderstanding, lots of egos floating around. Trust me, it's not what you see. It's not how well they do the vinyasa. It's the person behind the vinyasa. So you should pick your teachers very carefully as well. And I just want to say functional yoga medicine certification is the path back to self. It's not how great you can flow, how good that teacher looks. It's how they make you feel and how they make you grow so that you can finally stop chasing and start creating from alignment. So I ask you today, where have you quit before you even started? I call this failed ahead of time. Are you just a spectator, just downplaying everybody else's success? And where are you still building from fear, always chasing, and you're in the process of chasing? When you get close enough, you quit out of fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of success, whatever that may look like. Your subconscious mind probably doesn't know. What dreams are you chasing that isn't truly yours from the heart? Because fierce commitment doesn't come from the world. It comes from within. And when you know who you are, truly and deeply, you cannot be shaken by somebody else's image, opinion, or illusion. You stop quitting. You start rising, and everything shifts. So if you're ready to build your identity, your business, and healing capacity on something real, not from fear, not from comparison, but from inner conviction, apply now. Click the link below for the Functional Yoga Medicine Certification Program to change you and your life forever. It's designed for yoga teachers, seekers, clinicians, ready to rise as guides. It'll have online access, DIY options are available, there's somatic tools, functional integration, real leadership. Hard truth will be applied and integrated into everything that you do. Check out the link below, and I hope to see you within the program so I can be your mentor. There's an online DIY access, or you have the option to have the comprehensive program and certification with me as your coach all the way through. So you don't need another certification. Take it from somebody who spent years and thousands of dollars on education and certifications. You need a container that reflects you back to yourself in its entirety, only the truth. One that invites you to stop hiding, gets you out of your comfort zone into your fears to address them head on, and teaches you how to show up from your soul. This is the work. This is the path. There are no shortcuts. This is functional yoga medicine. We rewire you, decode, rewire, and rise. That's Human OS. I will see you on the inside. Follow me for more at Dr. Connie Cheung on Instagram, as well as YouTube, and follow and subscribe to my podcast and leave us a review. Mind Your Health Rewired, available anywhere podcasts are played. I will see you all next week. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Human OS Mind Your Health Rewired. If something you heard today sparked a shift, share it with someone you love or tag me at Dr. Connie Cheung so we can spread this mission together. To explore programs, trainings, or resources to support your healing, visit hossystems.com. And remember, you're not broken. You're brilliantly wired for healing. You just need the right operating system. Until